Kaleb Gillock is finding out where Olmsted County ranks.
The Mid-City is known for its world-renowned healthcare here at the Mayo Clinic, but Unicast has recently graded Olmsted County at a C- when it comes to social distancing. Rochester Mayor Kim Norton says she strongly disagrees. When Ashland's not out on the ball field, you'll likely find her here at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, where she receives her chemo treatments. 2 rounds are already complete, with the 5th one expected to be done sometime in August. The governor's announcement, which was made early this morning, came as a surprise to everyone, including course owners. The Minnesota Vikings set to open their 2020 campaign today, but just like with anything during the coronavirus pandemic, a lot has changed. Take a look around here at US Bank Stadium. Not a single fan in attendance for the season opener. To get a better idea of what it's like inside the cockpit, there's some flexibility in this too, huh? Jim let me climb inside. Eventually I made it. Wow, this is kind of tiny. Yeah. I may not be getting out of here. Before I hopped out, I couldn't resist firing up the engine. I wanted to drive the Zamboni, and James willingly obliged. So I took several passes across the ice at the blazing speed of 9 miles per hour, completing the first part of training. Even though it's homecoming and senior night for the Charles City Comets, tonight's about more than just football. Thanks to the gift of organ donation, a special fan sitting there in the bleachers made the trip from Kentucky to Iowa to cheer on the Comets. There are rich sights, sounds, and emotions that come along with homecoming and senior night. That includes honoring senior royalty, cheers and muffling pom-poms, and the band's symphonic notes. But what about an 11-year-old girl? Logan Luff's heart beats in Ember Henderson's chest. Luff, a Charles City teen, died in a 2017 accident. He would have been a senior this year. For Logan's mother, Ember's presence makes tonight special.
I think every mom looks at senior night as a great night to celebrate their kid, you know, and all the achievements that they've made throughout their high school career. And in our case, we weren't going to have that, and I kind of was dreading tonight a little bit. And when I found out that the Hendersons were coming up, I was super excited because I knew that even though he couldn't be here, she would be.
The senior boys honored Logan's legacy and family by presenting his mother with flowers before the game. When the Charles City cheerleaders learned Ember would be in attendance, they provided her with a uniform and invited her to cheer with them. Wise beyond her years, Ember was eloquent in expressing her gratitude.
If I never got that heart, Logan was wanted to be an organ donor, I would not be alive right here now and be with my family and be here. And I'm just touched by that.
Ember's thankfulness proving how precious organ donation is.
For us, Logan just keeps on living every single day, and you know, we may not get to celebrate some of the things that he could have accomplished, but we get to celebrate all the things she's going to accomplish.
I am legally blind. I have a condition called retinopathy of prematurity. I was born at 26 weeks, and my retina is partially detached not long after. And so I do a lot of things by muscle memory, by touch, by hearing. So I don't use the vision I have a whole lot.
Chris Matthews is a 23-year-old Rochester resident. His passion for baseball began while listening to the voice of baseball broadcaster Bob Uecker.
When I was 9, I got a boombox for my birthday.
But Chris's playing experience is limited.
I tried playing t-ball, but there's that scene in the Sandlot where they hit the ball over the fence and the game's over. That was me every time I hit the ball because I had no idea where in the yard it went. So I would invariably wander around and find it. Ended my t-ball career before I could really get it started, but that's how it goes.
After hitting the batting cages last summer, Chris decided he wanted to give pitching a try, so he put out a plea on Facebook.
Yeah, I kind of expected a couple people to maybe want to, I don't know, show me their front yard or something without breaking any windows.
But he received a much larger response from the Rochester community than he could have ever dreamed of, including an opportunity from Wade Beavers at the Yard.
It's a little bit personal for me. I have a brother that's blind and deaf, and I just realized nothing should be a limitation for anybody. So once I saw the post, it was Super Bowl Sunday, I'm sitting there going, here's this person that's so willing to want to learn just, you know, something that we take for granted.
The initial agreement was 5 free lessons, but Wade also threw in a new glove. So far, Chris is making great progress.
Got it. It hurts, it's frustrating, but I love it because this is not something I did as a kid, and no matter how many times I have to work on certain things, for me, it's about that process and figuring that out.
A lot of times we try to teach kids being visual learners. This is a difference where we're actually teaching them by feel. So an example is we take for granted and we tell somebody to throw a 4-seam fastball. they would see the four seams. Chris has to feel it.
The ultimate goal is to let him feel what it's like to play in the big leagues.
Our goal is maybe Chris can throw out the first pitch at a Honkers game or get to a Twins game even though he's a Brewers fan and make it happen.
A diehard Brewers fan, Chris said his long hair was inspired by none other than the closer, Josh Hader. Elliott Flatten is a YouTuber from Albert Lee. He and his father, along with one of his friends, recently went on a fishing trip they won't soon forget after making a catch that rarely happens, if ever.
My grandpa, he died several years ago, and I started this YouTube thing up a couple years ago, but he never got a chance to see it. It really bums me out because I know how much of an avid outdoorsman he was.
Being an outdoorsman runs in the Flatten family bloodline. Elliott says his grandpa sends them signs that he is watching over them, but none quite as noticeable as a recent trip to the Mississippi River.
My dad, he was out fishing on this certain fishing spot, and he had my Grandpa Larry's rod, and he actually got it caught up in the trolling motor, and it ripped the rod out of the boat, and he lost it.
A week later, Elliott and his father, along with his friend Joey, went back to the same spot, and Joey hooked what he suspected to be a fish. But there wasn't any fight on the other end of the line.
And he's like, you know, I think it's probably a boot. That'd be his luck. And get it up, and sure as heck, it was my grandpa's rod that my dad had lost the week before.
Oh my God, it's my pole! It's my pole!
As the years have gone by, Elliott's father has stayed in contact with his grandpa's friends, who happened to be fishing a short distance away.
They'd actually been like dragging weights across the spot trying to snag it, and they never caught it. And right as Joey hooked it, they were driving by, and he pulled it out of the water, and he was freaking out, like, I got it, we got the rod.
No way!
Elliott told me it was a once-in-a-lifetime catch, and that he's a firm believer there's always someone watching from above.
Those things just don't happen. And it really makes you think about that he's still out there. Like, these are the signs that he throws us to let us know that he sure is watching us, and hope he's up there enjoying what we're doing. It's a great thing.